Welcome to the first episode. Sorry about my attire. I did not know we were going casual today,
Joe's dressed for the Grammys. Welcome to the Come Up Top podcast here on the Metro Sports MoKan network. Brandon Kanabe, Joe Winfrey.
Yeah.
Landon Hinkle.
The funnest guy on the podcast. Today is like gonna probably be the weirdest episode because one, we're not at the regular studio. We're getting that set up. You'll see that in episode 2. And also, like, we don't have a guest today. We have a guest for the next 9 episodes, by the way. So we're just gonna kind of explain the origins, how we got to the Come Up Top podcast. We're gonna tell a couple stories. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the origins are probably that's the easiest thing to talk about.
This is the 11th time we've told this story on a podcast.
No, and it's just the story we tell everyone when they're like, "So what is Metro Sports?"
Yeah. We're just gonna start playing clips now. Yeah,
Just show them the video now.
This is part of the expansion that we've been dreaming of for the last months now. So
we've been trying to do a podcast since like day one.
We need
now that we're 9,000 in, we're cool.
Send to the clip of the one episode of the
At
podcast that we did at Joe's house.
I've been saying that though. It's really hard. Podcasts are so saturated now that everyone can talk into a mic and upload it.
Well, I was talking.
You have to get a following first.
Right.
If we didn't put in the last 19 months of work, people wouldn't know about us, and now we can do a podcast, and people will be like, "Oh, there's these schools around here that are really good at sports."
I was talking
also here's this other stuff.
I was talking to Chris the other day, and he was like, "Oh yeah, another group of white guys that has a podcast."
And if you guys don't know, Chris is a guy that we work with, spectacular, one of the best.
If you ever
Go to our About Us page on the website, metrosportsmokan.com/about-us, and scroll to where you see Chris. The photo we have in.
If you've ever been to one of our events, you've seen him. You've had to have seen him.
Oh, by the way,
he dresses like a traffic cone.
Before we get into the whole origin thing, most of the stuff that we did with Metro Sports Kansas City, which again, we're the same people, same company, just Metro Sports MoKan, we're still going to do events. We're still going to do a lot of stuff.
It's going to be bigger and better now,
I think that was the biggest question, because somebody commented yesterday and was like, so what does that change for KC? And it really doesn't change anything. It just adds more content to it. We're still going to do a Kansas City top 25. We're like, honestly, most of us are still going to be local to Kansas City. We still understand the Kansas City landscape, but it's just, we're going to do a little bit more content centered around the other areas as well.
And if it helps you guys out, like, we're all from Kansas City. We all went to high school in Kansas City, and so that's where we kind of got our inspiration from. But now that we're, you move in life, but we're not trying to get rid of the company, so we're trying to just make it a way where we're going to college.
I'm going to show Joe how to use the mic stand.
Dude, I'm lost. I'm really lost. No, I think I fixed it right there.
It moves like this.
I got you. I didn't want to cover my face. But so I go to Wichita State. He's going to go to Mizzou. He went to Lincoln, but he goes now to Metropolitan. So, we've got the land coverage, the geographical coverage, so why not try to expand? So, with Origin, I'll let Landon take it over because he's really the guy behind it all. So.
Yeah, so basically, started off working for another company to be unnamed for obvious reasons.
Don't you have this shirt on? Okay, we gotta go. Don't you have the shirt on right now?
This is where it all started, people. Oh wait, their branding's not in it. It's not.
Yeah, the branding's not.
We're good.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, I was at Winnetonka High School, Jason Calloway's class. Shout out to him. He put me on this job at Hy-Vee Arena to broadcast the 12 courts at Christmas. And there's where I met Chris Kamler before I knew that he worked with y'all too.
Yeah.
And he was a cool guy, and I told him, I was like, we both were saying that this was poorly ran. And
no hate, but kind of.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. We ran our own events, and we're like, wow, this is a lot of stuff to do.
Well, obviously, we respected those guys anyways.
It was just basically like 12 courts of Class 1 basketball.
Which, is needed, but also, like, the only bad thing, in my opinion, about 12 courts is that it is a bunch of schools from all over the place. You don't know who's playing until like a week before.
Yeah.
And so then it's like...
It's good on paper.
It's really good on paper, and it's a great idea. And I'm glad, like, they've made some changes to it that work.
Yeah.
And it's really good for Hy-Vee Arena. It makes them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you take these kids from, like, the Millard schools in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have no idea. Like, when I watched, like, the Midwest Showcase the other day, and I had to research some of the teams. But, like, they gave me a week of lead time. Like, 12 courts of Christmas, it's like... oh, these two teams play tomorrow, by the way, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, and if you
crazy.
guys are a little bit confused with what lead time is, it's just kind of like a build up. Like, hey, you got Blue Valley Northwest versus Lee Summit North in a week, so you get time to like research players or whatever.
Yeah, and like when we're putting the schedules into the website, it's like undisclosed 12 courts of Christmas game, and I'm like, great, I have no idea who they're playing now.
So Brennan had an idea. North Kansas City High School is pretty self-explanatory. It's in North Kansas City. We went to it, and so he had an idea of starting a podcast, and there really hasn't been a podcast about sports in any schools. I mean, I think there's been some like
cut to my camera real quick. Let's not act like I didn't start the wave on high school podcasts.
No, because I remember we wanted to do a show together.
I actually don't think there was a podcast.
Yeah,
and not that we got a bunch of
me
views.
and Landon got here first.
I mean, not that we had a bunch of views. I think we had maybe 100 a week. Maybe.
Yeah, no.
But like,
you're a high school,
but it's a high school sports broadcast where we were just talking about like like if you guys know these people or not, like Dominique Orange. Like they're not like there's some. He goes Iowa State.
Yeah, we used to pull. We used to just pull stats every week and sit down and talk numbers.
That's how it was with me at Winnetonka too.
And Landon was like, "Hey, I could just do this at Tonka." He had a YouTube. You can look all these up on Into.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, you can watch them.
Landon and Jalen's show. Shout out Jalen.
Episode 7 of the BK and Joe show.
Yeah, but we were just like, we could just do this on a different level. So we were like, let's start Metro Sports Kansas City.
Well, it wasn't that simple.
No, but there was a lot to it.
It was just more like after working for the company, you know. I just really didn't want to work for somebody and then show off that, I'm working for this company, and it's like, it's not very good work.
Well, no, and like there's so many freelance guys in this area now. Yeah. And it's like they're cool with being freelance guys, and we're like, dude.
It'd be so much easier if
like,
it was.
I just watched 100 people walk through the door of this event, and I'm getting paid $50 to be here. Yeah. Like, this is like, and from the business perspective, like we understand, like, because it's like, we've got to pay this guy, but we try to at least like be diligent about it. Like, dude, we paid like the trainer at the All-Star games. We pay her $35 an hour. Yeah, and it's like she sits there for.
I mean, yeah, no one gets
shout
injured.
out Katie McEwen, by the way.
And no, we love what you need it. You have to have it.
Right.
And like, I mean, really, I mean, she's a friend of the show.
Yeah,
but also like these events, like you have to have these things, like these jerseys. Like I don't want to spend money on jerseys,
especially when you don't even get them.
Especially when they're stuck at the U.S. Customs office.
but for these kids, like you got to do stuff to make it. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's for all of us. It's a passion project. Like it's not a very. I mean, it's not a huge thing.
We thought this was a lot more profitable.
But it's not. It's like these. I mean, that's why there's not a lot of coverage on it. ESPN isn't like, hey. Oh, you know, we do NFL and we do college Division I, but hey, you know what we really need to do? Let's do Bishop Miege football. Like, that's not something that they. But these kids are needed. I mean, I know this is a way for them to be like, hey, look, I have the Metro Sports Player of the Year, blank, blank, blank. I have this.
This is the third consecutive year in a row where Kansas City has had a top 10 football prospect in the country.
Oh yeah,
and it's like
Christian Brown, which is like, I mean, I know people are like. Some people made a big deal about it, but I'm going to make an even bigger deal about it. Although I don't think he was the best player in Kansas City his senior year, because I mean Ochai was in the Missouri side. I mean he was probably the best player in Kansas, but he's won 5 championships in 7 years.
Right.
He has won 5 championships in 7 years, and he's from Kansas City.
Yeah, like
we didn't run this.
He's in Overland Park today.
Yeah,
like they have the Ed Fritz camp next week, and it's like. You look at these stories, and like yesterday, the KBCA, Kansas Basketball Coaches Association, inducted Ed Fritz and that 2013 team into the Hall of Fame for going 25-0. That team has Ben Richardson and Clayton Custer, who played on the Loyola Chicago team that went to the Final Four and were the leading scorers of that team.
You know, they were Parker Brown, Mizzou legend.
Yeah, Parker Brown, Mizzou legend. But no, seeing those guys, like I remember being around Northtown and like seeing those guys come to Northtown to play pickup. Yeah, it's like we have these guys in our backyard.
I mean, it's so funny because Ronnie Bell is going to be playing for the 3rd best, 2nd best, 4th best football team in the entire world next year, or in 2 months. Yeah. Right. And his little brothers, Kendrick and Marquez, like they're
D1.
They're gonna be. I mean, not just them though. Like there are so many great athletes in this area. Right. Caden Fish just had an Instagram post. If you guys don't know who that is, he plays basketball for Iowa State now. Played for Staley. Yeah, I mean, but these players, like, it's not even just like these schools, Bishop Miege, Blue Valley Northwest, Northtown State. Not that we cover these schools and these coaches and like these great environments so that the families can watch out. But these students, I mean, they're really like spectacular what they do, and they need to be.
Yeah, Staley at one point was a top 35 team in the nation, and then I think Liberty North finished the year as the number 25 baseball team in the country. So it's like there's these stories that we are trying to tell, and that's always been the goal. And I think I realized that this was something that I wanted to do when we were doing the BK and Joe show, and I saw that you were doing a podcast, and we would have about 15 minutes worth of talk about our school. And then we're like, hey, man, that'll least some a North Liberty North game on Friday, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now we have a show where we're not just talking about our school. And I'm like, dude, this would be so easy to just sit down and talk about. And it's like,
now there are other aspects that are very difficult. Like some of the stuff, it's like putting in the stats aren't hard, but it's tedious and trying to find them.
It's
stuff like that. There's smaller stuff that
and
you guys
and the website just decides it doesn't want to do it after 25 minutes.
I mean, and for sure, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't see, but there are a lot of things that like we want to make it easier. Like I remember I went on a vacation with my stepdad. I think we drove to like South Carolina or no, South Dakota rather, wrong South. And he was like he went to Lincoln Prep and he was like, I can't find Lincoln Prep stats anywhere. He's like, have they won? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, we didn't have a website yet. We were still, it was 2021. We were just doing broadcasts and
the Twitter posts. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
We're a retweet factory, by the way, guys. We're a retweet.
Shout out to Hy-Vee Arena.
So I was like, why don't we do that? Like, why don't we? I mean, and it's a lot, but if we can, especially now that we're expanding, which is not necessarily Origin, but St. Louis has dogs. There's even places like in Salina, Wichita,
we're trying
Topeka,
to get a kid.
I mean, there's kids everywhere.
Yeah, we're trying to get a kid on episode 4 next week that had like 22 and a half sacks as a sophomore last year.
That is insane.
Yeah. Like that's the NFL record. And by the way, they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Like they played 10 games.
Or like who was that kid from the running back from Abilene in Kansas?
Derby? Or are you talking about?
You're talking about Jesse Greenlee from Atchison, who had 9 touchdowns in one game.
And if you don't know who that is, you can see it on our Twitter or website or right now on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean the kid had 9 touchdowns in one game, and that wasn't
player
like
of the week. Yeah,
he won player of the week. And eventually, like a month later, I think Max Preps made a video on it. But like, also at the same time, like we give a lot of these other organizations crap, like Max Preps, for being a little diluted. But also like IMG is where the money's at, like programs like that. And also like, dude, there are 830 schools in Missouri and Kansas. Like,
there's a lot.
Databasing all of those and trying to figure out like there are some websites that come really in handy. But like we're doing research for the top 25s, and we're like, we gotta look for stats for like Web City, and then you're like, oh, it's not on Digital Scout, which is what most schools use to log it. It's not on our site. It's not on yada yada, and it's on Max Prep somewhere, and like it's so difficult, and that's why like all of the high school coaches that have gotten a DM from us in the last couple of days.
Shout out to Tyler.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler in the booth over here. Tyler and Gracie in the booth cam. But the thing, like, we're not trying to bother them. It's not like we're gonna sit here.
It just helps us.
No, because
it helps us. It's like help us help you.
Yeah.
Like change is difficult, so they're trying to make the Royals and the Chiefs are trying to switch everything around. Like that's gonna be difficult for a few years. But as soon as it's done, it's gonna be easy. Like with us, there's not a lot of places to find. Oh, what is this kid from Labette County? Like, is he good? Like, you don't know anything about him. But in 6 years from now, when we finally have this database,
and the scouters,
be like, oh, that team's gonna be great next year.
Look at 2015 in the MLB when they're like, StatCast and all this batted ball data and yada yada. This is stupid. What's WAR anyways? And now it's like you get on an ESPN broadcast and it's average, OPS plus, and WAR.
Yeah,
and that's all they talk about. And it's like, that's kind of the goal in a way, is to create this database. I don't think that any college coach has ever looked at our website and been like, I'm going to offer that kid.
Yeah, no.
And
we've had DMs.
I think at least on a couple occasions, there has been a college coach that has seen our post, and that's been their first introduction to that kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying for sure. Like there was
UMKC's assistant
what's that
coach?
guy's name? The guy that just got the 3-point record in Kansas, Lutheran.
No, he played at Heritage Christian Academy.
Christian.
Owen. Oh my God, his first name's Owen.
Yeah,
he shot in the 3-point contest.
He broke the 3-point record in Kansas. Like that is insane. And it's like I bet no coach even heard about this kid I mean, Heritage Christian.
Miege
and
coach
then-
did because he had 11 threes in that game. Not 11, he had like
but
8,
then
but
you make a post about it and say it helps him or not. Like now people know about it. His family can show it. He can show it off. Like even his friends, even if it's
it's
minimal,
so
is
much-
like, hey, look, this is what I did. You can show your kids when you get older or
and
something
it's
like that.
Like we had a couple coaches. I remember last basketball season DM us about people.
just kids that they had. And I love, like, a lot of the times, like, we get some people in the DMs that are, like, angry.
Yeah,
And that's fine. Like,
That scrutiny will come with everything.
They're fighting for their kids, and I love it. And like, there's a couple guys that, like, people think that we just don't like, and I don't think people realize that, like, half of the All-Stars this year were older than me.
Yeah, no, that literally.
I'm never like, I don't like that kid. Like Zaxton King, dude. The first game of the week we did, Zaxton King had like 30 points.
Yeah,
there are
He's a dog. Hold on, cut to this camera. Zaxton King, dog.
There are. I mean, but there's so many people that like.
Right.
Like, and also that's why
That's why it's moving to committee as well.
We're moving to a committee, which
Yeah.
if you guys didn't look on our socials, you probably didn't know that. But we ran all of it.
Yeah, and if we ever missed anything,
it got so easy to overlook it because like you'd be like, wow, there are 7 setters that are amazing.
Yeah, and then it's like you really look into it and you're like, oh, they missed this kid, and then they won't stand on it because they added him to the awards list. No, I forgot that guy existed. I'm not gonna lie. You can sort through all of these stats and you can look at it all, and like I'm not trying to throw shade on like the Sunflower League or anything, but like the Sunflower League, some of the coaches don't send stats.
Yeah.
So it's like coaches
Like,
who don't send stats, I have to comb the internet to try to find players on your team that are dog. Like DeSoto had a dog.
Did Pembroke Hills coach just move, or is he still there?
No, he's still there.
Okay. I love that guy. But the one thing that's difficult is they had 3, I mean, maybe just 2, but they had an amazing team. If you guys didn't know, they just won state. But they had an amazing team, and it's like, hey, can we get your stats? And luckily with them, it wasn't. It
won state in
was basketball.
They won state?
Yeah.
They won 5A?
Andrew Kim, Devin Conley, the twins.
They lost in the finals.
They
Did
lost
they
in the
lose the
finals?
finals?
Hold on.
You should look that up. Maybe they did lose in the finals. I think they won, though. Did they not?
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all research.
Both of our producers are busy back there. I gotta look it up.
It's all research. But like, we can't get stats for those one team, and it can make it difficult. But now that we've branded ourselves, we kind of made a name for ourselves. People are like, oh, we need to get our stats for there because it doesn't.
These guys aren't just a scam.
And it's also not just a scam. And it's not going to be like, oh, it's hurting.
They
us.
got
It's
4th
like
in Class
everyone. They got 4th.
They lost to Cardinal Ritter.
Oh, that makes sense. Cardinal Ritter is pretty good, but like it's able to kind of show off your team instead of being like, oh, well, we might get beat because they know our stats. It's like, no, you're showing off these guys. I mean, the Conley twins were amazing.
Okay, let's dispel the fiction that teams are getting beat based off stats. They have your film anyways. Like
They
Huddle.
can
was
know.
saying.
Didn't somebody literally say that to us?
Yeah.
At the Jewel tournament.
I won't say who it is, but I
because
remember
it's
who
all
it is.
love. I mean, it's just, this again a passion project. If this
We don't want to give ourselves away.
We don't want to give our attack.
but-
Dude, you've got a kid who's averaging 23 a night. They know who that kid is.
Yeah, like I mean, but honestly, like
They are in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter.
like the Jewel tournament. Like almost all of
putting
these
in a
games,
scout, bro.
almost all of these games are going to be live broadcasted anyways. So like, what hurts you from being like, hey, my guy's got 23 and 9.
You want your kid to go to the next level.
No,
Every
and then
single
there's
game
also,
in the college
like-
level is broadcasted no matter what division.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and then you really think about it, and it's like, for the teams that don't send stats, it's like we could absolutely send somebody there and make them run a book on your game. Like,
But that's
so
extra,
tedious.
like-
Yeah, and that just puts
And
a
I
lot more
wish I-
pressure on
And
us.
also, like, it sucks. It sucks because I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, like this team's got a dog, and I know he's averaging 20 plus, or I know this guy's got 300 passing yards this game, but they didn't send stats in, or I don't have their stats, so I can't do anything for him.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you, there's probably at least 1 or 2 kids a year that would be leaderboard level kids that just don't end up on the list because they don't get stats.
and then there's also a huddle is a big thing, but they also aren't very great with stats because it's this cam that kind of floods.
I remember my senior year of high school, they tried to tell me I kicked 19 extra points.
Yeah, there's
We scored 19 touchdowns?
in 9 games.
10 games. We went to the playoffs.
Oh,
I had to
awesome.
keep my own stats my senior year, bro.
Yeah. And like even stuff like that though. Like, I mean, does anyone know that you hold
A Misha record?
A Misha record, like
Probably not.
Yeah, like
I ain't even gonna lie, I forgot about that.
I had to tell people.
yeah, like but if we have a
I
thing
had
like
to email the Misha.
But we have stuff like this where it's like it's so accessible. Like I mean, it's not just like, oh, we want to make a company. Like we were 17, we were 16 when we made this thing. Like it was like, hey, I mean, like I like football and basketball. Why not just
our
we
bank
all three
account
like
isn't even in our name.
yeah, like we have to have a manager because the state was like, hey, you're too young to.
Yeah, like we legally could not
entrepreneurs.
own a business by ourselves.
Yeah, it's Joe's dad's technically.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, hey,
John
can I?
Lincoln.
But the other thing that this isn't, I don't know if it might get cut from the whatever, but we have to pay taxes on the company that isn't ours because we're too young. We're too young to be entrepreneurs, but we're not too young to pay taxes.
Yeah, what the heck, man? It's crazy. And business taxes are so much more confusing.
No, they're very.
Joe was doing our taxes for a month and a half.
No, I literally was like, well, that was my fault because I should have been paying attention more because I'd be like, oh. I like write in notes, spent money here.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta find that.
You're
We
pretty.
put that in our email.
But it teaches you, like, when you're 17 and you're trying to file your report, you're just like, whatever. But now I'm like, oh, okay, well, we spent money here, let's write this down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, even if you
Keep
get
the receipt.
QuickBooks or whatever you want to get, like,
I feel like
you're more cognizant. So
I have to write down it.
you can so I guess we're not just helping these kids and stuff.
So
we're helping
don't
ourselves.
don't
learn.
get mad when it takes me 2 days to reply to your email. Is what we're getting at. Like
You
the
should
amount
see
of
our
people,
DMs right now.
bro.
A lot of people. Well, hey, but we have to.
Hey, yeah.
Can we say real quick? Thank you for everyone who.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
That retweeted, liked, commented on
And not
our
only that,
announcement
like,
yesterday.
The amount of people, we say there's a lot of great athletes. There's also a lot of kids who are like want to get in to this
Involved.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
We
dude,
get a lot of DMs.
a lot of
a day.
DMs, a lot of
Emails.
emails. I got a couple emails.
There's
We got
a-
one really good
Yeah,
one.
we're gonna go sit down with the kids
Yeah,
soon
like
about soccer.
and that's
No,
like,
but even-
shoot your shot, man. Shoot your
we
shot.
need help. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have already made a name for themselves, like Cliff Notes. He's a
Yeah,
phenomenal
great kid.
guy. They kill it. But then there's a lot of kids that are like, I mean, even if we could get help from like a kid from each school, oh my gosh, we wouldn't have to ask the coach for stats. Just go to this game for us and,
Right.
and tell us what happened, the final score. Boom,
Right.
put it on our website. It's done. It's
Yeah,
easy.
and, like-
and there's kids that love it. Photography, editing. Like there's so much stuff that if we could build this up even bigger, then there's so many opportunities for people around us that it's like,
Right.
I mean, at 19, at 18, at 20, like the fact that we're able to potentially give people opportunities is amazing. Like
We're supposed to flame out though. It's cool.
we were supposed to flame out. but-
As soon as me and Joe left, it was supposed
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
done.
Can you tell I'm salty? I'm kidding.
no, but it's good. Like
Yeah, and like
I
that
love it. I
motivation's
love it.
so good. Like I
me
mean,
and
think
Joe
about-
put in hours while in our dorm room.
I love
split screen.
I
with
do have to
I will
say
not-
though, I have to say, Brennan carried for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I was in college, I was like, okay, I got 4 papers, I got work and
Give
some
me some
laundry.
credit, please.
And
Yeah. Hey, Fuzz.
Fuzz kills it.
Yeah,
Fuzz kills it.
Fuzz is very quickly.
first semester of college was
Yeah.
you
It's
two were
tough.
clutch because
Yeah.
I had football season going on,
Right.
and school at the same
No,
time.
but what's good about this though is like now that we're expanding, there are I go to Wichita State, so many state
Well, that was the
championship games
big
funnel through there.
The big thing about expansion was always like yeah, we spread ourselves further, but also you are in Wichita.
There are so many.
You're
games.
gonna be in Columbia.
There's
If
6
Andover
games a night.
if Andover is playing Heights or some matchup like that,
Mays
is
South.
playing Mays South.
Yes, Central. Like there's so
like
many.
you used
teams
to be
out
able to go to those games, but it was like, well, you can't really report it because it doesn't make sense because we're Metro Sports KC. But
Yeah.
now it's like you can just go to that game. Like it just makes more
Yeah.
sense that
and
way.
and what really like kicked our thoughts into expanding was when I was in Jeff City talking about that Desmond White kid. I wanted to cover him so bad at Helias.
right.
He was still is a dog.
Remember we showed
Oh
up
my
to
goodness.
it was with CDOT. We went to William,
Shout out to CDOT.
William
if you don't know who that
Chrisman.
is, you should know
William
who that is.
Chrisman and Helias. We show up and he's like, dude's midway through the third quarter. He got 39 points at half. Jesus Christ, like,
No, because I seen it was in my suggested on my main account based off my location.
right.
And I seen his Norm Stewart Classic highlights, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
He's so good. He's so good.
And there's
he's-
so many
he's a
really good
bucket.
players, like Caleb Red, the kid with like 22 and a half sacks last year. It's like these kids, I'm glad they're not flying under the radar like they used to.
Yeah.
Like St. Louis is a hotbed, and there's a lot of outlets in St. Louis that do a really, really good job. But like just to close the gap. And it's also the hard part about Kansas City was it's like we're doing these rankings, we're doing the top 25s, and then it's like, oh, but do we count like Highland Park last year basketball?
Like Lawrence, we did Free State, but Lawrence isn't Kansas City.
Lawrence really isn't Kansas City, and then like Topeka's what 30 minutes away from Lawrence, and we don't.
I mean,
we
and
don't
like
consider
Ottawa's
Lawrence.
not, but there's talent in
And, like,
Ottawa.
yeah,
There's
oh,
talent
yeah.
in Topeka.
You
There's
look
this
at, like,
kid on the
Washburn
Milgram
Rural-
Mustangs from Ottawa.
Yeah.
Bro, straight gas.
And like
dude.
Washburn Rural volleyball last year, it's like they're not on our rankings, but they're like 40-2.
Yeah.
And they've got Brooklyn DeLay, who was arguably the greatest volleyball player in Kansas history. So they have all of these guys and all of these girls that can just straight up play. And it's like we have to like the one time we're gonna see these kids is if we're broadcasting a tournament and there's an out of area team.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when Northtown played May South at Northtown, and we broadcasted
Good
that
game.
Really good game.
Yeah. But that's the thing that we want to just thank everyone. I mean, almost 9,000 on Twitter, not quite, but maybe by the time this goes out or potentially after that, we want to thank everyone.
Potentially by the time we're done recording this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, really, thank you guys.
Yeah, we're 10
everyone.
away.
I mean, again, still a passion project. Still, I mean,
Right.
it is a company. It's an LLC,
Yeah.
but it's. I mean, it's really just we're trying
Yeah,
to.
it was
give
three
you
high school
guys-
kids that just wanted to do what they
Right.
like to do.
Yeah.
for
And
fun.
now it's like we give ourselves credit, but also like just the people who have been here along the way. Aiden, like literally volunteering his basement for a studio.
Yes.
You know, Tyler, who most of the time recently Tyler has gotten off work and came here and we've worked. Gracie as well. Like Gracie is not even legally an employee of our company yet, and she like you might as well pitch a tent in my backyard, dude. Like thank goodness you live a street away from here. Or
Yeah,
else,
and
like,
that's a lot of things. Like just
yeah,
helping hands and stuff
and then,
like that.
And then Gerald, it's
Yeah,
like,
Gerald's not here,
I
but
forgot
he's
to
been a
give
big help, too.
Gerald as much credit. Like, dude, we did Ray Peck, what was it Ray Peck Gardner Edgerton, and they had they had Bubba Starling,
Yeah,
and
he
the
got
guy who won
both of
building
them.
champions.
That was
And Gerald, in the middle of an inning, goes inside the team's dugout
Yeah.
and is like, "Hey, Jeremy, can we get you? Hey, Bubba, can we get you?" And these guys came down and sat down for an interview. And it's like, I know 4 people on planet Earth that have the balls.
Yeah.
Confidence, yeah.
it wasn't
that
like
was
they were
one
just
thing
there.
that was
They
one
were
thing. Like,
honorary coaches.
Yeah.
we were small, and you guys might not even have known we were around then. But I remember being like, okay, we just ended a game. All right, I got to go to an interview with Jason Tatum's dad. Like
Larry Hughes
that
Jr.
was
Larry Hughes Jr. Those are my 2 favorite
no,
interviews that we've
that
done.
was. I mean, it's.
I have a different favorite interview that we've done, and it's when you interviewed the girl at Mill Valley, and you had a suit on because we're doing game of the week, and she has a dress on, and it looks like you just got out of prom.
It looks like no, that one is hilarious.
It was the
that
winner-
one, we
the
did
winner
a clip.
dance.
We made a clip
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah.
You guys still watch
On
this.
TikTok, yeah.
Another one that I really liked. We went to our first ever gig. I mean, we weren't even like. I mean, we were a
Shout out
business,
to
but, like,
what's the AD's name?
Brent, oh my god, I have his contact on my phone. But keep talking.
Yeah.
The kid that you interviewed?
No,
the guy, I
Mill
got
Valley's
you.
AD.
No, I got you.
Who me and Joe.
Brent Picard.
Yeah, Brent Picard.
And
yeah.
we are in.
My old.
No. When we got the call back, we were in South Campus at Northtown
Yes.
for an IB dinner.
So we were. If you guys didn't know about this, now it's a little bit easier. We can call the school. Hey, this is Metro Sports.
Dude,
Oh, you know who I are. Okay,
me
can
and
we get
Joe
a school?
put in hours.
But me and Landon. So now the big thing that we're gonna hopefully do with this podcast or other things is kind of do sponsorship. So maybe the cold call will come back. But what we started to do, we were gonna be like, let's call schools.
And
let's
tell them to give us.
Hey,
their
yeah,
money.
we were trying to get them to pay us.
We weren't even big. Like they were. Like we were barely an LLC at that point. I mean, we're the same LLC as.
What
we were
day
now.
was the Mill Valley
Like
game?
it was.
The 2 days after the LLC.
Oh,
the LLC was a Wednesday, and the Mill Valley game was Friday night.
Yeah, and I remember me and Landon sat down for like 5 hours one day. Got like 70 no's, and the next day we were like, we'll call again. We called different schools, and I'm like, this is like 48, Landon. You want to call it quits? He's like, nah, let's call Mill Valley. And we were like, Mill Valley's Kansas City, but like it's almost.
Yeah, I was
not
just
Kansas
like,
City.
It's in
what are the schools
Kansas.
farther away that might just say yes because they don't know who we are?
No, and we needed
Yeah.
the thing that really hit the jackpot for Mill Valley is that they didn't stream their games.
Yeah,
Mill Valley
that-
didn't do it. And well, they had huddles, I think.
Mm.
But what we really broke luck in is the only reason I think we got that game is because they had that spring homecoming dance, whatever.
Yeah.
And they wanted to show off, hey, this is the
Yeah.
this is the guy.
And that was like
instead of being on a huddle.
That
cam.
was I'm pretty sure that was the game that like decided who won the Sunflower League.
Yeah,
No, yeah, it was a
like-
crazy
It ended up
game,
being a
too.
huge
Yeah.
game.
Orange for and dude that
Then a kid got boomed on.
So much
By Saxton King.
There is so much to uncover. You can watch that whole game live, but there's a few things I want to say. So before we didn't even have, like, we could barely have a bank account. Like, we had to put our own money into it, and before that it didn't get paid, and we were like, I gotta thank Mill Valley for giving us this chance, because I don't know if we didn't get that call. I don't know. We'd probably still be here, but I don't know.
Big,
anyways, we went to that game, and he had a great interview. It was a great time.
Hurley, do I look cute?
But also another thing is that Mill Valley went to the locker room that game, and their player who had the most points comes back out and does the homecoming ceremony or whatever it was, and
what was his name? Jackson Diamond.
Diamond, yeah. If he doesn't go out on the court and he goes to the locker room with the team, do they win that game? Like I'm a big. You go to the locker room with your team. I'm a big I
don't know how. Okay, well, we don't go to Mill Valley. We don't know how big winter homecoming is at Mill Valley.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that school is.
I don't know.
Sick.
It's a very nice school.
We've been back there. We've been back there. We did.
I'm
pretty sure we did Mill Valley. Mill Valley Olathe West.
Was it soccer or baseball?
Basketball.
Basketball. Yeah.
Mill Valley Olathe
the
West.
The next year we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we did Mill Valley Olathe West. And I just remember that was the first time that I took Gerald with me, and Gerald was like, "This is the nicest school I've ever been in."
Dude, they had like the corner bleacher. You know what I'm talking
They
about?
had, like, balconies,
their
basically.
gym is beautiful.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's one of the best gyms I've been in, and we actually set a camera on that little corner balcony, and like,
Works perfectly.
I remember like that was at the time when we did Mill Valley Lawrence. I mean, this also helped us out is that we got into this like later in the COVID cycle, where people were starting to come back, but you still had to stream games. Because you still, like, obviously you couldn't take your elder family members into this game. And I just remember, like, being there and being like, man, Mill Valley, both Mill Valley and Lawrence in that game, like, their student sections.
Oh, yeah, dude. They were crazy.
And Lawrence is a 35, 40-minute drive from Mill Valley. So that was great. And after that, I think we started to get confident.
Oh yeah.
That was, dude. It was just such a boost of confidence after that.
Well, besides the fact that the next morning, I remember the next morning.
You always bring this up.
The next morning, first of all, Joe's dad is a G for this. We wake up the next morning, and we had a 4-course meal.
No.
No, your dad popped off the next morning. I was like, I'm gonna stay here every weekend.
No, but we didn't even. We were like, they didn't pay us, and I was stressing out. I was like, wait, are we not?
We thought we were getting cash in hand.
Oh yeah, bro.
I was like, what? And my dad was like, did you not send him an invoice? I'm like, what's an invoice? We were
Yeah.
like
An invoice.
16 and 17.
We tried like 4 different times to make it good enough, bro.
No, but that was. I mean, I want to say, like, even if like whatever happens with this thing, I've learned so much from it, and like I hope every single kid that we cover on gets scholarships, NIL deals. I hope all the families get to celebrate their kids through this. And I just in this origin story, passion project, just I hope everyone wins off of this company, this franchise, whatever we become.
And I think and one thing that I do also want to highlight is like we have a lot of these like horror stories where it's like I remember that guy who DM'd us and was like, man, this kid, you hate this kid, man. But we remember those because they're actually pretty few and far between. Yeah. Like the amount of people that come up to us and they're like, thank you so much.
Yeah, how many times have we gotten called racist?
I remember there's a guy.
That was
bad. I hope for some reason he listens to this podcast. And he after I had to block him on our account after the All-Star game because it made me so mad. It was a picture of all of us. And he was like, "Oh, now I see why they leave Ruskin off the rankings, dude." Really?
Okay. We literally named the player of the year. Like it's like we do not care. Like Aiden Shaw was like he was a dog.
Yeah.
Kyan Evans, dog. Avion Webb, dog. Like all of these kids are so good. Why would we care? Like that was so annoying. It's like, hey, we had an All-Star game.
Dude, we go
Winston
to Northtown.
Allen,
Like what are we like?
Kendrick, all of these kids. Like what? How is that anywhere
I think,
related?
and like the people who really know us, and like the kids who are in the group chat with us, and like know us as people, like that's not a worry to them. And like I understand.
That's why we didn't let it affect us. Like
Well,
as we're bringing up on a podcast,
but the amount of times I could sit here, we could do an episode and a half of me listing the people after the volleyball All-Star game. For 45 minutes, we're trying to clean up. and here comes a different parent. Being
Yeah.
like, Thank
That
you
was,
guys so
I mean,
much."
that was, I mean,
That was our
honestly,
That
best
was probably that's
that
probably
was the best day of this for me.
That was
that
the
event.
most fulfilling day.
Yeah.
Actually, I could argue that it was baseball because it was like, now we know what we're doing.
Yeah, baseball
just-
was a learning process.
It was
for
just
sure.
the like whole like behind the scenes of
amount
the
of people
baseball
at the
event
ba-
that kind of ruined it
at
for
the
me.
baseball, at the baseball,
right.
yeah,
And it was also 104
that was
on that
iffy.
day.
And I wore
But
pants.
baseball, volleyball, football. I mean, all these people that would come up to us and be like, "Thank you so much." And so most people, like, honestly, they don't even know who. Like, I've met Aaron Bell 50 times, and I was at Chicken and Pickle working, and I was like, "Hey, Aaron," he's like, "Metro Sports," and I'm like, "Yeah, like,
me
I'm
and
not. That's
Fuzz-
not what I'm known for." But like, people that like congratulate us or thank us, I'm like, it makes me feel amazing, but also thank you guys.
How
Like,
many times for the production? How many times when we went to Staley the other day for the 810 event? How many times did I get stopped?
Oh, dude, it was like 10, 20.
Yeah, like walking in, like Zachary Kerr is sitting on the bench in a game,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, Metro Sports." I'm like,
There was someone on the court, like when we walked by,
Yeah.
they're mid-playing game, and it's like going to get the inbound.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Hey, Metro."
Like
Yeah,
there,
like, it's
and there's
crazy.
Some, and there's also some like Shadavion Bradley. Like I would have never not thought like I would have never been friends with him if it wasn't for Metro. Like I would have never been like, hey, and
yeah.
he's going to be. I mean, he's gonna.
Dude,
be
he's a
dog.
dog.
Have you seen him? Like he hasn't played a game yet because it's not football season. He looks so good in a Tennessee uniform.
yeah,
Those
and not
Those
only that,
charcoal
bro,
rays,
but like
the Rocky
rays of the
tops.
ball,
like
yes.
the amount of growth I think he's seen as a player. Like when he first started getting offers, I was like,
Dude, because I remember
I don't know about
against
this,
Platte.
bro.
Winnetonka plays against Platte County
Uh-huh.
every single year, right? And I remember my sophomore year, which was his freshman
Yeah.
year, I remember people saying, like, dude, they got this big old kid on their team. Yada, yada. Didn't really, like, hear much. Also, I didn't pay attention. I'm a kicker. My junior year, though, I remember
Plays
in
them
the
scout
playoffs
meetings.
going to Platte County, and dude took over in the second half, bro. And then my senior year, when we went back to Platte County and got 35-0, dude, just watching him play,
knew
he was just so fluid.
I knew he was legit, but I knew he was really legit when I watched him kill J.J. Johnson with his bare hands.
No.
Like,
And
he
it-
came off the edge.
Do you guys remember the
blindsided him.
episode of Jalen and Landon when
No,
I
there-
called Jalen?
Yeah. But there's also, I mean, there are so many kids that are like, you look at them and you're like, you're gonna make it in the league one day. And like it's that Ochai. So one of our first ever events, we went to an Oak Park
Oak
game,
Park
and it
basketball.
was
Oak Park,
Ochai was getting
Northtown, yeah.
Ochai was getting recognized, and we get a video and he goes, "Shout out Metro Sports KC, we still got it."
Hold
and
on,
it's
I got
like
you.
there's gonna be.
Hold on, I
we'll
got
put this clip in the thing.
Roll it!
We'll make a thing about it. But there's in like 5 years, we're gonna have so many kids to talk about. I mean, Dom, PJ, Shadavion, Kez, Kendrick. I mean, even like Bjorn. Like he
Dude, let's
he's
talk about
very
his
talented.
His
sister.
sister. Yeah.
Hey.
Gold medal.
Dude,
Go, dude.
dude, Addison Bjorn might be at, I don't know, what, 15, 16?
I think she's not
14?
even.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
She
think she
is-
probably just turned 15 or 16.
She is like, she might be a top 100 female basketball player in the world at her age. No, not even at her age, like in the world. She might
in
be
the
a top
world
100
currently.
female
Yeah, I was about to
basketball
say,
player,
like,
and
dude, she
she's
might be
15.
the #1 player at her age group in the country. And not only that, but like, Park Hill South was good. Park Hill South was very good. Reagan Williams is very good.
Yeah.
Avery Simmons is very
Simmons,
good.
yeah.
Ava Miles is at Staley now, but
Yeah.
they had the older Kell's sister, Tatum is the older one.
Yeah, I
Ava,
think
and
so.
then Ava, the younger one. They've got dogs, but then Addison comes onto that team, and they're now a perennial state title
Yeah, it's
contender.
crazy.
If Incarnate Word didn't exist,
Incarnate Ward is so.
That's what
They're like not to be a spoiler for the Spider-Man movie. It's not even a spoiler, but there's Spot at the end of that movie. If you know what I'm talking
Which
about,
Spider-Man
like,
movie?
the
new one.
newest
The
one.
newest
I don't
one
know if you've seen
Come on,
it.
bro.
You don't even. You'll
Come
see
on,
it, bro.
bro.
You'll-
isn't
It's
our,
not a spoiler,
Isn't
for
our
real.
intro music from that movie?
Dude, that's so good. So good. So good. So good. So good.
Shout out to Joe.
Hold on,
Shout
I
out
got
to
y'all real quick.
But yeah, here's the match. Here's the Ochai.
Shout out Metro Sports MoKan.
And like that's amazing.
That's Utah Jazz Gardo Chai.
Dude, I just remember me and Joe walking up. He was getting literally interviewed by Fox 4 right
By the
before.
way, you probably all know this, but like they're not small people. He
Dude,
is huge.
I just remember
He is
just
massive.
standing there waiting, and this is like 270.
He's not small. He's 6'1".
And this is 270 Landon too, so I was a big boy. I just remember looking at him. I was like,
remember Joe,
He shook
Landon,
our hands.
Landon, you were there too. You remember meeting what's his first name? I can't think of his first name. Played at CBC.
John Bull.
John Bull.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my! He walked in the gym. He had a duck under the door. I was like, he's probably not that tall.
Hey guys, breaking news: we're at 9,000 followers on Twitter. Just
Dude,
today.
I kept looking. I was
like-
looking just a second ago, and I saw that like 11 accounts followed us like right after I said that.
That's amazing.
We're
I mean,
not
really.
live, by the way. We're recording this. It's 7:35 on Sunday. Like,
Yeah, this will be up tomorrow. You
Yeah,
guys
10
don't
a.m.
get that you'll be watching it, whatever. But that's amazing. I mean, we were, at least 150 away before our announcement, and the fact that we've got that in a day
We were like
is
8'5".
yeah, we're like 8-6.
Yeah, no, like this. I mean, not only is it an opportunity for us to like expand truly, but like the amount of people that we could like touch with this this expansion. I mean, I know there are so many companies, kids, parents, schools in Wichita that like this is gonna like. I mean, because like there's even a thing at Wichita State. They were always like, when you think of basketball, do you think of Wichita? And I'm like, no. They're like the Sunrise Christian, dude. Like they rarely sell out the tickets.
I watched.
There's a lot of people that need help, and like if we can go here, dude, like Heights, like this could. I mean, they're.
I remember it was my freshman year of high school. When Grady Dick was playing at Wichita Collegiate.
Yeah.
And it's like we forget that he was a dog at Wichita Collegiate.
Yeah.
Like he
Hey,
won.
real quick, unrelated. Did you like his suit?
No.
I
No.
hated it, dude.
No.
I liked his. I liked his analogy.
No. I liked how it looked. There is no way that was comfortable.
No, and he's from Kansas. He's talking about Dorothy's her slippers. This is my Dorothy suit. I was like, bro.
He looks like
That was like-
Can we talk about
like
all the
you-
headlines from?
I think it's like one of like Trey
Did you
Young's.
see
I think
the
it's like
80-inch
Trae
dick headline?
It's like Trey Young's thing where he wore those shorts. It's either you loved it or you hated it, and I don't know if I loved it.
No, he looked like one of those pillows that you wipe.
Yeah, the sequence pillows.
Yeah, bro.
If I wiped down, the suit was gonna turn black.
Yeah, right. The beaded thing. Yeah,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
But
Shout out
It's almost
to
as
Grady.
bad as Kevin Knox Fortnite suit.
but still, there are. I mean, there's
Grady's
so
gonna
many-
be so much better than Kevin Knox was.
But there,
Dude, I remember
there's
Kevin Knox
really-
was a prospect, man.
If he went to Missouri, he would have been way better in the NBA.
Shout out to Kobe Brown too.
Kobe Brown made
Oh
it.
yeah,
first
Clippers,
round.
First round
baby.
draft pick.
Hey,
Clippers.
dude. Also, I want to say this. Like, this is probably never gonna see. I mean, if a kid even has a chance, I'm probably calling it right now. You're never gonna see a kid in the collegiate basketball scene for longer than a year if they can make it to the pros. I mean, it was the 21st or 22nd pick until an overclap.
No, Cam Whitmore.
Upperclassman.
I thought.
The
Cam
20
Whitmore. Yeah, I forgot. Dude.
Like 21st
Dude, he
overall.
dropped.
I feel.
But, like-
First of all, I feel bad for Cam Whitmore. I know this is a high school sports podcast, but we're gonna delve into college a little bit. Cam Whitmore. It's not even like. First of all, Houston Rockets. A
Yes.
steal.
Yeah.
Getting Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore in the first round.
Oh, yeah,
When there was a
dude.
conversation
They're
if they were gonna take Cam Whitmore at 4.
Yeah.
No, but the fact
but
that like
the-
20 kids, 18, 19-year-olds, went
Literally
before a
our
person
age.
that was 20.
Somebody that was born in 2004
Anthony Black
gonna
is
be in the
older
NBA
than
this
me.
year.
I mean, or did I say that
Anybody's
wrong?
younger than you. Yeah.
Anthony Black is younger than me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, and then
Like,
like you look at
That's
the
crazy.
amount
He
of
got
money
way
he's
better.
gonna lose. That's the only thing I feel bad for him. First of all, actually, I lied. I don't feel bad for him. He's gonna
That
be
is a dog, and
that
he'll
is
get that second.
generational wealth immediately.
no, but he'll get
But-
that second extension. I mean, but really,
He's good.
I was
he
watching
was not the
this thing.
20th best player
No,
in that draft. I don't think
no.
he'll be the 20th best player in that draft.
There was a video. You know that wide receiver. He was a freshman last year, gonna be a sophomore this year. He's making like a million a year through NIL at Texas A&M, and it's
Yeah.
like applaud. But in basketball, that's not really the case. You got 1 year, and Grady had that Audi NIL deal.
Yeah.
He had the Adidas or maybe it was a Nike. I don't know, but he has NIL deals. But as soon as he goes to the league, he's gonna make more money. I mean, he's.
You also
got
got to think like you look at the interviews that like GQ does with people that are like, how do you spend your first paycheck? And a lot of the times are like, dude, I wasn't even spending the money I made from the league. I was
Yeah.
spending the $100 million Nike.
Like
was paying me,
LeBron
you know?
Yeah.
buying a freaking penthouse in Florida before he even got drafted.
Right, from the Nike deal,
The
and
Nike
it's like,
money, yeah.
yeah, like a lot of people are like the Pat Mahomes deal. Like they're gonna be like in 10 years, it's gonna look like the Chiefs fleeced Pat Mahomes. No, it is not.
Well, like
he
it
owns
might,
like
maybe.
4
if
sports teams.
if inflation still keeps going up, maybe. But they're gonna just restructure to where Mahomes. I mean,
Right.
but even then, Mahomes is gonna make $1 billion off endorsements.
Dude, Patrick
alone.
Mahomes makes more money off of his freaking Oakley deal than he does from the Chiefs contract.
Patrick Mahomes has
Yes,
made more money.
State Farm,
made more money
Royals,
during the recording
Sporting.
of this podcast
Yeah.
than most of us will ever touch in our lives. Like,
Literally.
Yeah, I mean,
he's making like $80 a second.
and
Like,
not that no more. Also, not that he doesn't deserve it. I mean, he is the best football player in the world right now. Like, it's not even. There was a who was it? Gerald was trying to debate me who the best quarterback is right now, and he said Josh Allen.
okay, I think it's funny because this is like a Kansas City. We live in Kansas City. Like,
Yeah.
we're in Gladstone right now. Like we're like, oh, dude, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. I think it's pretty hard to argue the contrary.
Burrow even was like, yeah, it's Mahomes, and Burrow's the second best in my opinion.
The Pat Who comment, I
Dude.
knew that was not.
No,
Did you
that
see
was-
the podcast,
the
New
response,
Heights?
That
Yeah.
was epic. I don't care.
Pimp.
Yeah, and
Pimp.
also Jamar Chase. If any, I mean, I don't think that he like really has the right to say because he hasn't really done anything. But like, also, if anyone was to say it, it is Jamar Chase. I mean, he's a dog.
No, and I also I see it like, you know, when Tyreek Hill says Tua's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, what is he supposed to do?
Talk about on his teammate. No,
What's he supposed to be like? Ah, man, I wish I didn't get traded. Like, you know, like the only guy.
Tyreek
right,
Hill's just got CTE.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
right.
but it's good for Tyreek. Like,
No.
like
The
okay,
only guy
well,
that's allowed to say that his quarterback is bad is Antonio Brown because it's par for the course with him now.
yeah,
you know?
and like we'll get back to some Kansas City stuff, but like Tyreek Hill, it's like when he got traded, it's like, oh, as a Chiefs fan, like I had his jersey, I love Tyreek Hill, but I can still like him at Miami, and he's gonna get his bag, where he's gonna move where his family lives, where
Right.
his house is. He's gonna be fine.
Slap people in
He
the
is
back of
He
the
just
head
won't
in
get
a
a
new
ring
city.
anymore. Who cares? He won't get a ring. And the Chiefs won out of that. Trent McDuffie. I mean, we got some dogs from that, and we were able to pick up Mr. 100 Sacks.
Oh, Carlos Dunlap.
Carlos Dunlap. We were able to pick up people because of the money that he was able to get us back.
I think we might still win a Super Bowl this season if he's on that team, but I don't think that we really are a perennial contender like we seem to be now.
Dude,
Because
I
now-
don't know why.
because now we don't
last
have
year
the
was
money.
a rebuild year.
Receiver by
When we-
committee worked way better than I thought.
I swear to God, if Marcus Kemp has to take another snap in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna cry though. Like, do you know how bad? There was a moment where I was like, "Oh my God, Marcus Kemp is in this game," and we're down by 7.
No, but it's like the Eagles. I mean, really, if I wasn't a Chiefs fan, I would write them as the Super Bowl winners right now. I mean, who do they have to play in the NFC? They don't have nobody. They're gonna make it as a 1 seed. They're gonna have the bye week. They have one of the best offensive lines still because everyone stayed, and they just picked up. I mean, their draft class. They might have had the best draft class.
by the way.
And-
response to that.
They might have the best draft class in the NFL. I mean, dude, the 2 dogs they got from Georgia, I was hoping he was going to slip. I mean, I love the guy from K-State. He's from Lee Summit.
Felix.
Another guy from Kansas City, metro area, Lee Summit, dog that we get to talk about. Felix. I mean, he is dog. I mean, but from Lee
There's gonna
Summit
be
to K-State.
17 clips of us just saying dog
No,
on
but
this
he's
podcast.
so-
We
he
just had a
is so
dog
good.
DM us.
Yeah.
Jackson
Speaking
Downing.
of dogs, Jackson Downing just DM'd us to tell us congratulations, which is awesome. He was dope.
So many amazing.
Segue back to high school. Let's talk briefly, just very briefly, about that Liberty North team.
Oh my god.
Tate McGuire had a a 2018 LeBron level playoff run
No, that was crazy.
where he was, dude.
I mean, no.
He was untouchable. I know a girl
And I
from
know what
Nixa.
you're talking. I know LeBron lost that playoffs, but dude, if you look at his numbers,
That was the most dominant we've ever seen a player be at any level.
probably 16 through 18, Braun was.
But like you
Idiotic.
look at like Tate McGuire. I have some friends down in Nixa, and they're playing Nixa in the Final Four, and they're like, "Oh my God, like we're getting no hit right now. Like, It's
Yeah.
the 5th inning, and we've had one base runner."
Dude.
And it's like, yeah, Tate McGuire is that good. And then, you know how good a high school baseball team has to be where they play their 3rd starter and he still goes, I'm pretty sure, 6 innings in a state
it's
championship game? Like Andrew Agnew,
insane.
we got to watch him pitch when they played Blue Spring South. Dominant.
Oh yeah.
Ty Wisdom to close it out.
Bro.
Looks like Mariano Rivera.
Dude.
Dude, he's got like a .6 ERA. Liberty North, despite having seven bats that were like murderers row, they were putting up like 2 or 3 runs a game in the state playoffs and winning 2-0, 3-0. It was
And-
like never And you look at those
There
scores.
were, like, what was that, like 2 years ago, Garden Edgerton? Or was it 3 years ago when they were just like...
No, Blue Valley is who you're thinking of.
Oh, maybe it is.
Blue Valley when they had Carson Liggett.
Yes.
That was the first year. That was the first year I did state baseball at Chris, and I just remember Chris was like, "Oh, he threw the other day. I don't know if he can throw today." And then he sits down, a perennial state contender in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Sits them down, and they had 7 D1 hitters. They had like junior year Sam McAleer on that team. Craig might be his dad.
Drew.
Drew Norris. They just had some dogs, and then Carson is just blowing 96 by guys, and like this is my first year doing this. The first games that I did, and I'm like, there's kids like this in high school, bro. Like, and then I remember, did we see when we did, and this is a fun story in and of itself. We can go ahead and tell it from start to finish. The game that we did, Liberty Olathe West baseball.
Oh my god.
Preface.
Oh, that game was a...
Dude.
Preface. It is like...
It was a doozy.
It is 4:00.
We just went to a soccer game.
No, it was Pius Northtown.
Yeah.
Baseball, yeah.
Yeah. We just went to a baseball game, and then we have to drive to a soccer game to pick up the supplies.
Yeah. Here's the
equipment.
even better part. Okay, it's 4:00. We're at this baseball game, and we're like, dude, Liberty and Olathe West play tonight. I didn't know that. That's the game of the week. If I've ever seen one, number 1 versus number 2. Casey Crawford's on the mound, who was an Oklahoma commit. I think he's committed to somewhere else now. And Liberty put a D2 commit on the mound as well. Carson was hitting that night, and I remember being like, we got to go to this game.
Yeah.
And then we're like trying to think about it, and we haven't done a game that hasn't been a pay to stream game yet.
And this completely switched it for us because now we're like, hey,
this was the moment. I think this is the moment
now
where
we were like, hey, we can do games whenever we want them. It's free for the fan.
Right.
It's free for the school. It's free for everyone. The
like,
students get, and it's all, and that's the way it should have been from the start. Is that everyone gets to, instead of go, so for Huddle, a school has to pay $500 to $1,000 or whatever dollars that they pay, and then you have to pay a subscription as a mom to watch it.
Yeah.
Why do your mom have to pay to watch it? Your mom should not have to pay to watch your kid play.
But by the way, ballsy move.
Oh yeah.
We did not talk to anybody
Dude,
in Lawrence. We didn't talk to anybody
We didn't
at
call
all.
nobody. No.
I'm pretty
We
sure
walked up with our Metro Sports stuff. So we got this.
No, I'm
game
pretty
tonight.
sure we called Free State just to make sure.
called their AD's office.
And they didn't.
And
they
by the
answered, I
way,
don't know.
no, they didn't answer. It was 6:00 on a Friday.
On a Friday, yeah.
And I just remember we pull up. Nobody really asked any questions though, which was good. I think that was once we got past the front
And
door.
we got
I
a
was
really
like,
good game too. Blue Spring South versus
versus Mays South.
Yeah.
Or regular Mays.
and Blue Spring South ended up getting second in state that year.
Shout out to that guy that got mad at us setting up.
He was like, I'm trying to watch my kid hit. And I'm like,
And they struck out, I think, but it is what it is. Like it was. I mean, but really that game, and also that game had some great clips. We got some. That was
the buntathon.
Yeah,
the
no,
buntathon,
the
Liberty.
buntathon, and then
We got
in
thousands
the
of
park
views on
home
that.
run ground out to first.
No, in the first inning.
Yeah.
what we had. We're at what 2.3 thousand on that video, I think.
Yeah.
That's one of our best doing videos, and it was just a spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment.
No,
And
literally, yeah.
And I think we've glazed over the best part here. One, any of you who have been to Free State's ballpark, it is about a quarter-mile walk from the parking lot.
We had to haul.
We
all that
had
equipment.
one cart, and
I
it's
had
about
one leg.
It's about 3
And
carts
he was
worth
on
of
crutches
equipment.
still because he just got surgery. on
Yes, and first of all, driving there, we had to get all of this stuff in Joe's car. We took one car.
I couldn't sit like
And-
a
yeah.
normal person. I had to sit across the seat.
So we had to bring it. We had to put all the stuff on top of it. We had a computer lab.
we
I
are
had a
playing-
computer sitting in my lap.
for
we had
45 minutes.
Yeah.
We drove the speed limit. But it's still from
we
Kansas,
drove the speed limit.
Kansas
Hold
City
on,
to
I gotta
Lawrence. Is
turn
not
the light
very
on.
far.
It's starting to get dark.
But I
I
mean,
didn't realize. I was like, dude, it's dark as heck in here, and I didn't realize I didn't have the light turned on.
but we really just gotta say like thank you guys for everything you've
Yeah, well,
done to
and not
allow
only
this,
that,
and
and then after that game, immediately after that game ends, it's a 5-inning mercy rule game because Liberty bunts 6 runs across in the second.
yeah.
That game ends, and immediately and without conviction, they immediately turn the lights off.
Yeah. Oh
in the,
my
In
god.
the facility, it is pitch black. Like, when are you guys gonna be out of here, dude? The game ended 10 minutes ago.
Not even maybe 7. Like
that
it
is
was-
one of 2 bad interactions we've had with employees of a school.
the ladder.
The latter.
Oh my god.
The latter situation for
Dude, we're not gonna say what school.
We're not gonna say
All I'm
what's-
gonna say is he asked me if we were the one that needed a ladder, and then just threw it at me. Like,
he said like 12-foot ladder.
No,
Just chucked it.
he's like, you guys need a ladder. No, and you guys are probably wondering, what do you need a ladder for? So we tried. If you guys watch Game of the Weeks for baseball this year, we tried to mount a camera in the outfield and
Get a better view.
First of all, the first time I tried to do it, I climbed the fence.
Yeah.
Had an employee of the MoKan Parks and Rec
Hold your foot.
hold my foot and then hand me the thing. He's like, "Hey man, you know we have a ladder, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, like
Nope, I didn't know that.
I was like, "Can you go get it now so I can get down from here?" And then I thought about it and was like, "This is like 2 hours before the game starts." So I'm like, "I got to get down, and I'm gonna have to get back up there to turn it on." Like I rigged it and turned it off because it's the same cameras that we're using for this, and like it could not sit up there on. And I'm also pretty sure that it was like 25 degrees out that day. Like, it was not very warm outside.
it's real NKC baseball right there.
No, and the next day, no, it was Oak Park Smithville that I was doing.
Oh, really?
The next day was All-Star basketball.
Oh, shoot.
It was the very next day.
I literally remember going to that game and I had to take it down. You were like, go out to the ladder. So I go out there and I'm taking it down. I'm like, how did Britton get up here? And the ladder was like on the ground. I had to put it up and bring it back.
Yeah.
That was a day.
That
And
sucked.
the next day was the All-Star game. We were up. I think we were on 3 hours of sleep that day.
No,
We had no sleep because all the jerseys didn't come in.
Oh, we've got to tell that story. So for those of you who watched the girls basketball All-Star game in person, you're probably like, "Ah, man, Metro Sports doesn't care about women's athletics." That is the furthest from the truth. We ordered these jerseys
Pakistan.
through Avion Webb's dad, which
Ace, honestly, friend of the show.
friend of the show, great guy, great like just
He
an
didn't know
over-
what was gonna happen.
Yeah, he had no clue, and he actually was really good in the aftermath of it, like trying to find solutions for us. But I get the jersey thing, and we've done an All-Star game.
You're like, all the jerseys are in there. And I'm like, okay. And it's like,
We've done an All-Star game before.
yeah.
And
Two
I
before.
knew how big the box of jerseys for All-Star volleyball was, and I was like, okay, there's going to be double the amount of uniforms in there
Yeah.
and shorts.
And shorts.
So this box has got to be pretty
Or
hefty,
multiple boxes.
hefty
yeah.
big. He comes in with this box, and I'm immediately like,
So we only had the guys.
I'm gonna take his word
Jerseys.
for it. I'm gonna take his word for it. Because I'm like, all in there. He sets them in the press box at MoKan Park. I'm like, are they all in there? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bet. I do the game. First of all, I also had to haul from Northtown to MoKan Park, which, if you guys know North Kansas City, is probably about a
Half mile.
a quarter mile.
Yeah, quarter.
I had to haul a ball rack
Might be half.
across the street. I looked like a tweaker with this ball rack,
And 12 basketballs.
12 basketballs, and then I had to take it up the stairs at MoKan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you helped me with that. We had it sitting down there, and they were like,
No,
"All right."
no, I think Luke helped you up and I helped you down.
No, Robert Morrow.
Robert,
no,
yeah.
you helped me, Fuzz.
It
You
was
were there.
Tyler, yeah, it was
Tyler,
Tyler.
you helped me bring the balls up the thing at Northtown for Smithville, Oak Park, and then I remember that night being like, "All right, we got to set these jerseys out and like make sure everything is ready." And I started taking
Midnight, probably.
Yeah,
Because we were doing a bunch of stuff before
I
that.
start taking the jerseys out, and I'm like, "There's not girls' jerseys in there."
No shorts either.
No shorts either. And I just remember being like, "This is a problem." And he's
We were like, okay, well, we could do that. We give the
"No.
girls
The
guys.
first order of business, he's like, they're stuck at U.S. Customs. I have no idea when they're going to be out. My first thing is, can we drive to U.S. Customs and
There's no-
back in 18 hours? Like we have, like no. But the answer is no. By the way.
Yeah, and then we were like, well, we could give the girls the guys, and then we were like, oh, we could just. Oh no, that's not gonna work because they had the names on them, and we are like, okay, well, there's
can-
no shorts, so maybe
and
we
they
could
can't
just-
wear their school jerseys either.
We were like, maybe they do their school jerseys. Nope, we have underclassmen, so that's
nope, can't do
not
that.
allowed. We are like, well, maybe they could do their club jerseys,
Which.
and
yeah.
we were like,
W pivot, and I can't think of who the players were, but there were a couple players who like volunteered their extra club jerseys to other players who either didn't see the text or didn't have club jerseys available to them. Great job by them. And then some of the guys' jerseys had misprints, so I can passionate.
I love Ace, but he got his own son's jerseys wrong.
No,
How does that
no. That was not his fault.
That wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault. I sent the order list to him, and he immediately sent it. I even went back and looked and made sure I didn't get it wrong.
Didn't we have 2 Kendrick Bells, like Marquise's jersey?
yeah,
was
yeah,
also
Marquez's was also Kendrick's.
And Maliko Atis had like 4 jerseys.
Yeah,
I was like,
Pretty
I
sure I
love
have a
Malik. He's a dog.
Malik Wade's jersey in my closet too.
But like we had like 4 of them, and I was like, wow, how does he? And I texted him the other day because I don't know if you guys know who Maliko Atis is, but he is one of the best running backs in the area. Like,
Oh, yeah.
2,500
Go ahead,
yards.
cut back to my camera. Dog.
Yeah, like 2,500 yards, give or take, and like, I don't know, 22, 26 touchdowns. And he was insane.
Where is he going again?
I don't remember, but I know he's going somewhere.
Might be Emporia.
That's what I was thinking, Emporia.
Yeah, but I mean, there were a bunch of what's it called, but that day still went good. Both the doubleheader. I think we've learned a lot. From
Yeah,
every
he's
single
at
event.
Emporia.
Yeah, Emporia.
Can we talk about? Finish your story.
No, but I mean everything. Can we talk about everything that we've done? All these events. I don't think any of them were perfect, and we've learned everything that you can physically.
And that's why, like, and another thing with expansion is we want to build this like award ceremony. If you guys saw that post, starting this year, the day before the All-Star game, if we're having as of now, we don't have a football All-Star game because it's really hard in the winter.
It's hard to get kids together, especially with other sports. And
here's another thing. We've pivoted between this a couple times, having underclassmen in All-Star games. The All-Star game, in my mind at least, is not a showcase game. It is not. And at first I think it was, and then I think we realized the best players in Kansas City are already committed.
Yeah.
And we want it to be an opportunity for you to see your kids play for the last time, but we also want it to be the best players in Kansas
the first
City.
Basketball one that
never
happened. We
like,
wanted it to be one All-Star, one showcase.
And we're not trying to call anything. Like if you're like, and we're not trying to show any digs at anyone. There are great players in volleyball that we had to like not snub, but like we were like we only have so many spots, so it's not trying to do anything like that.
Right.
But it's really like. These are the best kids. These are the best things. And if you want to showcase, there's 2 players from Pius, 2 kids from Staley, 2 kids from wherever.
Right.
Then there's other places that do that. And you can go out
and we're also, it wasn't that we didn't want to do that. There's a lack of materials for it as well.
It's just difficult. And then how do we pick? Do we make the coach pick? Like that might be too. The coach might not want to pick.
And they can't. And that's the thing, like, and that's that's the difficult part, right? Yeah. And then we do have to kind of steer around a lot of rules as well when it comes to stuff like that, like
through Misha and Kisha.
Through Misha and Kisha, yeah. But I think we have found a good balance with it that people respect, and
that's
our thing, and our thing is, and that's what makes our awards different as well. The Simone Awards are wonderful. The people there are wonderful. The Dorena Awards. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I know people that were on the Dorena committee. They're all absolutely excellent individuals, and the awards are great. I have not had a problem with who won the awards or who was nominated. They do a wonderful job. But also at the same time, it is very hard. Like the Simone Award, like the Dorena is different. The Dorena is different. You win the Dorena any year. But like the Simone Award where it's like man, like he's going to win it because he's a senior. Or like when Aiden Shaw won it over Kyan Evans 2 years ago, which
Aiden Shaw
deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved it. I think I would have picked Kyan.
Oh yeah.
But and then it also set the expectation that at the beginning of this year, everybody who knew Kansas City basketball at the very beginning of the year goes, Kyan Evans could score 0 points in the first 5 games of the season, and he would still win the Dorena this year. Yeah. And the difference is that we're trying to make it to where not only fans have a voice, but coaches have a voice as well. That's a big thing with committees this year.
That's what I like about the committees. The coach of the, but I think that's the thing that we started from the beginning was that we can pick, but like.
Yeah, or
I want the fans to be like, hey.
Because at the end of the day, we're not able to watch everybody.
You know Carson Milbrandt? Yeah, that's my dog. That's my friend. That's my son. That's my neighbor. That's my whatever it is.
And by the way, we can look at voting trends. Like if there's, you can't bot our Google Doc and us not notice. Or like if it gets to a point where the voting isn't working and players who don't deserve the awards are winning the awards, then we will look back into it.
But that's never been an issue.
That's never been an issue.
Yeah, and it's a way to be like, here are great players that the coaches selected. here's great players that you also agree with.
Yeah. We're
I
gonna.
love it.
The thing is finding a balance.
Yeah.
And we want to do award shows. So this year it'll be. Hold on, I can pull up the dates, and these are obviously tentative, based on a couple of factors. But these are the
when
dates.
the season ends.
Yeah,
when
that
the
I
next
want to
season
roll with.
starts, stuff like
Is that the 10th is the volleyball awards ceremony, and the 11th is
month
the All-Star
that
game.
they can- I mean,
November.
yeah.
In November, by the way. State championship's the 4th. We did last year. The state championship was the 5th, and we played on the 12th.
Yeah.
So, awards ceremony on the 10th. We have a nice dinner. We get a sponsor to cater it, and then the 11th we do the All-Star game. And then soccer and football. Soccer and football are the 18th and the 25th for state championship. I think soccer's first, and then football.
Yeah.
And then doing the football and soccer awards on the December 1st, and playing the soccer All-Star game on the 7th.
Yeah.
And then another big thing that we want, I want to make sure is talked about this year is we're working with some people in the Missouri Softball Coaches Association to make sure that we're adequately covering that this year.
Yeah, and it was hard before because Kansas is in the spring mostly.
Right.
And
So and that's the thing you probably saw if you saw that post is that Missouri Softball Awards will not be in the fall. We're clumping the awards together and playing them in the spring, but it'll be based off the previous season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will still absolutely be a thing. And
We can always tweak it if it doesn't work.
Right.
That's not a.
Yeah, and it was a tough conversation like this year with not having a baseball All-Star game or a soccer All-Star game. It wasn't that we didn't want to do it. It's not like we were just sitting on our couches not doing anything. And I think that's what it looked
And
like.
also,
Yeah.
it would have been good. I mean, it's bad, but also like with baseball, it would have been great. Oh, it's our second annual. We're
Yeah,
consistent with
right.
it. But also, it's like there was a lot of kids that dude, they play 50 games this summer.
And it's not even that.
Are
It's
they going
just
to be able to play another
so
one?
many tournaments were going on that weekend, and if we pushed it back, then it's too late. But if we had it a week early, we wouldn't have been
and our announcement
prepared.
we already had set, and it's like we don't want to.
Yeah, it was either if we pushed it up, we wouldn't have been prepared enough, and if we pushed it back, it would have been too late.
Yeah,
late.
it was a lot of things.
And
that
not
went
only
into it.
that, but I think it makes a little bit more sense after expansion now that to do that and then segue it with expansion, I didn't want to put a product out there that was less than what we were capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And it's like
1000% agree.
And the thing is with All-Star Baseball, and we've learned this, you have to work through a school.
Oh yeah.
3-2 baseball is great. Even though we have our caveats with Creekside, they're still a good ballpark. Creekside is a wonderful facility. We just have fundamental differences on how business should be ran.
Yeah.
And that's how it is,
With a lot of things.
With
True
a lot of
life.
things. It's not it's no hate. We got into some heated discussions with them, but it's no hate at the end of the day. We all go our separate ways. But it's hard, calling ADs in May and being like,
Hey,
hey, you who will not be on the clock.
One, they might be, switching schools. They might be
Yeah, that
retiring.
was
they
the
might
big
be
thing.
Whatever it is. Two, they might just be like, hey, bro, it's summer. I don't want to deal with this stuff right now. I'm done. In the fall.
I get it. Yeah, and it's a learning process, but I think now with the new horizons that we've created, it's a great opportunity.
And it's
for it.
funny because I remember when we went to Urban Youth Academy, talked to that guy with the Royals, telling us he's gonna help us. It's a possible location. Never heard back.
Yeah, I didn't hear a lot. But
No, and I mean, dude, he works in a Major League Baseball organization. I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Urban
he's
Youth
got a
Academy would
lot.
have been a great place to do
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
and it's still a great organization. I get it. You got a lot of things to worry
Busy.
about, and I think
Yeah,
as a not a professional yet, we had these caveats when we first started where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, these people aren't getting back to us. Like why wouldn't they do that? And now it's like, I wake up and I'm like, all right, great. I have 13 things to do today. I've got to send a prep list to Gracie. I've got to tell Tyler that he's got to do this. We have a meeting at 2:30.
Yeah.
And I have to get
email every school in Missouri.
Yeah, right. And then I have 11 more things to do, including get back to this email. And it's not that I don't want to get back to it. It's that unless I set a reminder, I'm probably not going to remember.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but also it's part of it, and that's a thing that I'm trying to get better at personally, is making sure that I'm getting to stuff. And
that's
it's,
with everyone.
oh, it's so difficult. like it's so difficult, and you kind of pointed this out to me the other day. It's like, it's not that I'm not telling you things that are going on because I don't want to. It's that I totally forget. Like,
yes.
I totally forget that they're
There's two things that, like, honestly, I've been watching a lot of stuff and reading a lot of stuff and doing a lot of stuff to try to better myself, like gym or reading or meditation or whatever it is. And a lot of people are like, you got to get good at saying no. Because
bro,
there's
I'm
one
bad
thing,
at it.
he's like, you could have $1 billion, but you can never buy a second. You can never. And it's like,
Right.
and there's so many times that I'll be like, hey, do you want to come hang out with me? And I'm like, yep. And then my dad, you want to hang out with me? Yep. Hey, do you want to this thing? Yep. Oh, I just said yes to 3 things today.
The other day.
If
when
you know
were
Joe,
like,
his anxiety levels are,
You think so?
bro.
Not
Really?
even
I think
your-
I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty.
not even
I feel
your-
like I'm not.
not
I feel
even
like I
your
don't get stressed
anxiety.
out though.
You
Maybe
don't-
maybe
yeah.
that's just like I have a running marker of anxiety and I just don't even realize it.
Yeah, I think one thing that, like, and you were talking about the other day, you were like, hey, I'll be over soon. And you never shut up. I'm not mad at you, bro. I get it. I ain't upset
Dude, that
about
was
it.
on me though. I literally told 3
I'm not
people
mad
that
about
I
it.
could do something.
I'm not mad about it. I was pretty sure you were at like Andrew's house or something, and I was like, great. Whatever.
Because what happened was my mom was like, "Hey, do you want to come out with me?" And I'm like, "That's mom. It's your mom. You have to,
Right.
you have to hang out with your mom."
I am obligated.
And so I was like, "Yes, let's go hang out." So we go hang out for 2 hours, and Andrew was like, "Hey, the NBA draft's tonight. We're getting sushi. Do you want to come hang out with my family?" And I'm like, "I haven't hung out with Andrew all summer. I'll go hang out with him." And Brandon's like, "Hey, we have this thing tonight." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll be there." And I didn't show. And I'm just
yeah,
like,
I'll be there. Yeah. No,
Oh.
and you were like, I've said yes to 6 people today. I'm like, dude, I don't care what you do. And then you were
But
like,
that's a big thing. Like with a lot, this I know it's not fully related to the podcast or the origin, but that even with business, even with kids, like you could say yes to this all-star event, and if you have something else come up, just be transparent.
Yeah,
That's
man,
the
it
thing.
makes us a lot easier. It makes,
no, I felt like the All-Star 3-point contest, like there were 3 people in the All-Star 3-point contest that told me they weren't going to be there, and then they showed up on the day, and I was like, dude, I didn't put you on the graphic because I didn't think you were going to be here.
Yeah.
And then it was like I had
with-
to run and
Kez
grab the order, and I'm like, who
Kez
even is this guy?
Kez
Like,
and Kendrick got there 4 minutes before it started, and I love both of them. I'm like, hey guys, I get it. I wasn't even mad, but like, and that event was like, I mean, it was
we
very,
took a
very
couple
fun.
L's. We took a couple L's on that one though.
Took a couple
Shout out to
W's.
Chad Valadez too.
Learn a lot.
For like I think a couple of the things that like we did poorly with that, like we didn't realize until like the day of.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's different because like the magnitude of it and the amount of working things involved were just totally different than what we'd done before. But
Yeah.
now we know.
Yeah.
And I think we've all of the mountains that there is to climb in terms of like things that can shut down events and things that, you know, you can struggle with. I think we're pretty much there.
Yeah.
So we're not going to cancel an All-Star game again. I promise.
Dude,
It's
do you
never
remember
gonna
what
happen again.
happened in the first
that was
baseball All-Star game?
there was a big thing that. Okay, what's up?
With the first baseball All-Star game, the whole entire day before, I go to Michael's, buy us a cricket because the jerseys,
I forgot about this story.
because the shirts that we got, so we got fan shirts for the game for the parents.
Yeah.
Sick.
They were really good. They
And
were
we
really
thought
good.
that's what the uniform was going to be like.
Not that we don't.
And
have,
it's
we
not
don't-
even their fault. We
don't-
ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got them, and there was no numbers on the back. And I was like, oh, God, dude, what do we do? Like, this is
What
not...
do the say? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, so the whole entire day, I'm on Photoshop making nameplates for every single player on both teams, a couple of them, for both teams.
Yeah.
And
We get a self.
we got a self-printed on. I get the paper, like the transfer paper, realize that I got one for light-colored clothing, and you can't even see the numbers.
No, and you also got one, and we didn't think about it because the paper was white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't think about the places on the paper that were white were totally transparent.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So when we put the one was going to transfer just the outline of the one.
Yeah, we thought
I
the
was
white was
like,
going to go with it, and it was
oh
just a
my
black
God.
outline on a navy blue shirt, and we were sitting there like,
It's 1:00 in the morning.
yeah,
by the way,
we
at
were
this
so
point.
lucky we got a couple extra because we messed something
we
up.
messed like 4 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and luckily
It
there were
looked
like
like- it looked
3
like-
kids. There were like
looked
3
like-
kids that bought fan shirts for themselves to play the game, and I was like,
yeah.
we
Bo
that.
Schinkel, I remember him
Yeah,
pulling
Bo
up. I was like,
Schinkel,
let's go,
Yeah, but Alex Stewart, I think
Yeah.
too.
And
I
it
was
didn't
like,
help that that game was like 1,000 degrees.
dude. And they were cotton shirts, dude.
It was a
They were cotton. No, they were
I felt
mesh blend.
so bad,
They were
bro.
mesh blend, I think. So
no, they were 100%.
yeah. We didn't end up getting the
They
mesh
were
blended one.
absolutely cotton shirts. and then the worst part about that was the fact that was a really good game that didn't have like it could have had a storybook ending and it just didn't.
and we ran.
And that wasn't our fault, or that wasn't Creekside's fault either. Like you didn't expect a 7-inning game.
11-11 is amazing though.
And I think it helped with the volleyball All-Star game made the stakes a little bit higher as well.
Yeah.
Kansas leads all time 1-0. Or technically it's 1-1 because Team Cayenne won the.
Team Cayenne won.
Yeah, Team Cayenne won the.
It's 1-1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 1.
One draw, one win, one loss each.
But no, I think I mean that kind of covers the origin. I mean the branch out.
We'll continue to tell stories on the origin and you know how we got here and all of the little idiosyncrasies and things of that nature. But
we'll have YouTube videos and clips of this. So if you're like, oh my gosh, this is a 59-minute podcast.
Oh, we're running on Tyler. How long does it say it is?
Right, hour 15.
Minute 15 on the spot.
A minute? Yeah.
An hour and 15?
An hour
Yeah.
15.
Minute 15.
Minute and 15 seconds.
Hey,
75 seconds ago we started this.
But like there's a
Welcome
lot
to the
of
Come
stuff.
Up Top podcast.
Yeah, but like we said, we just want to thank you guys truly for everything you guys do for us. Twitter, Instagram. We now have a Facebook. We
do.
Shout out to the old people
But like
and my mom.
Dogs.
We'll leave it all on our description
Yeah,
on
it'll
all
absolutely
the
be
stuff
on
that we do. But thank you guys. If you want to know more about what we're doing, watch the podcast. Go on our Twitter. Go on our Instagram. Go on our website. Go on our Facebook. Whatever you get. I mean, social media is really the new wave of marketing, of sales, of everything. You can watch everything that we do in our entire life, everything on social media at this point. But yeah, go check all of those out. Thank you guys so much. And I mean, if you guys have anything else.
Not for this. We're gonna do a little clip. We're gonna record some clips after this. So yeah.
Bless. Thank you guys so
Follow
much.
us on TikTok too. That's gonna become a big deal with our expansion too. Is TikTok? We're gonna TikTok Shorts, Reels.
A big thing. We're gonna still do broadcasting. That's the last thing I want to say. We're
Absolutely.
gonna do broadcasting. We're still gonna do stats. We're still gonna do everything. But we're gonna try to focus more on like, hey,
we are not.
This kid had 30 points. Here's all 30 points. Post. And now you get to watch it instead of having to watch a 2-hour broadcast, which some people don't have the time for. We get that. Yeah. Sometimes you're not a mom that wants to watch their kid play. Sometimes
anything that we have done, wow, that just registered.
What?
I started to hear them laugh, and then I replayed what you said in my head.
Sometimes you're not a mom.
Sometimes your mom doesn't want to watch them.
Sometimes your dad never came back with the move.
No, I said sometimes you're not a mom that wants to watch you play. Not sometimes you wait, what?
Right.
Did I say that wrong?
Yeah, you said that horribly.
Absolutely came
No,
off
I'm gonna watch this back, and I think I said it right.
No. You said shout out to the moms that don't want to watch your kids play.
No, I said
That's
sometimes.
absolutely what you said.
That's what you said.
What I said was sometimes you aren't a mom that wants to watch their.
No,
kid
you did
play.
not.
Shout out to you, mom. Thanks for not coming to my games.
Shout out.
My mom came to my games.
I do that way too often.
Hey, Landon,
too.
my mom
What?
didn't show up to any of my games.
I do that way too
My
often.
mom showed up to
where
our
I
games.
will say something. And I didn't say that.
I didn't say
I'll
that.
be. Last thing, I swear, we'll end it. Let you guys go on to your day. But I swear, I will be walking down the street, and I'll be mid conversation, and stop talking. Or two,
I do that at least 3 times a day.
Or someone will ask me something in my head. I reply, and I say nothing.
Dude, I remember that one time after
Same
the
with my
gym.
money.
After the gym, I fell asleep in your car, and you asked me questions, and I swear to God, I answered every single one of them. I didn't answer any of them.
You did.
Oh my, we gotta talk about. Let's carry this conversation over to the uncensored version.
Yeah. And if you guys want to watch, it's a little bit less business focused, a little bit less everything.
It's
just us.
Yeah.
And it's you guys can watch that. It'll be on the channel, be in the description. Yeah. But for real, thank you guys so much for everything you do. This has been Joe,
Landon.
Brennan.
and
We'll see you on Friday,
Friday.
too.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
This
Yeah,
is out
twice a
Monday.
week.
We'll see you on Friday, twice a week. Every week, Landon's gonna nay us out of the episode. So
Peace.
peace.